So today we are going to make something that I crave a lot and don't get to eat because I can't buy it in the store. I like crispy, salty things to be able to eat when I've had a lot of vegetables and fruit. And if you go to the store and you buy any kind of chips, even the super healthy ones, once in a while I can find them all made in a good oil, but almost 99% of the time they're in sunflower oil or safflower oil, even in Whole Foods and in Trader Joe's. So today we are going to make Einkorn baked chips. They're made with Einkorn flour, of which I've already taken and my kernels, and I put them through my Vitamix and ground them up. I sifted it so it's really fine. So I have 2 cups of Einkorn flour here, and we're going to add the ingredients. I've measured it all out, so it's going to be really fast for you to watch. 2 cups of Einkorn flour, a 1/4 cup. This is shredded Parmesan cheese. It calls for a Romano. Could not find it fresh, refused to just get the other stuff. So this was fresh. It actually is Kraft, but it was kept in the refrigerator section. I was in a store that I just couldn't keep going to stores and looking, so I finally had to settle for this. So a 1/4 cup of shredded, and it's fresh, and it tastes really good, shredded Parmesan cheese. And then I have 1 teaspoon, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, which is in here. I have a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric, a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and a 1/4 teaspoon of my salt. And the thing that so I'm pouring all of that in here. The thing I'm doing different, and it may be way different, is I did not have any garlic powder, and so I just took one of my fresh garlics and I've minced it up really, really fine. So some of my crackers may have a little bit of garlic punch to them. That's okay. So that's all going in there together. I just kept these out here so that you could see what I had used. We're going to toss that all together. And then I'm going to add 3 tablespoons and 1 tablespoon, 3 tablespoons and 1 teaspoon of olive oil. And this is a very, very high market olive oil that I bought at a specialty store. It is, when I bought it, it was only about a month from Italy. It's delicious. So I'm gonna take that and blend it in. Now if I had my pastry blender, which is my hand blender, which is my favorite, which is in storage, then I would use that. But I'm gonna use 2 forks and just kind of blend it up here together so that it makes little balls and kind of gets all together, gets the dry done. I think I'm better off with 1 fork. You know what, I'm probably better off just going with my fingers. Get it all blended together. And then I'm going to put 1/4 cup and 2 tablespoons, 1/4 cup and 2 tablespoons of water mixed into this. And I'm going to mix it all together. Just a little at a time here. Now one thing about Einkorn is it uses up your water as it sits, and so it can be more moist to begin with and then it gets drier. So I'm mixing this all together. I'll get in here and knead it together with my hands. all the einkorn stuff I've made has been moister than this, so I don't know if this needs to be or not, but it said to make it into a ball, and it made into a ball. So there it is, that fast, into a ball. It wants me to divide this into fourths. Now that one's pretty much bigger than that one. There we go. And then it wants me to cover it with plastic wrap, which I don't have any right now, and I just as soon not use plastic wrap. So I'm gonna cover it with some wax paper and let it sit for a moment. Now I have my oven heating to 350, and inside of my oven is a baking sheet. Now I don't have any baking sheets, so I'm using my what am I using? So I'm using my cast iron griddle in there. So I've got parchment paper here, and I'm going to roll this out, and I'm going to roll it out as thin as I can possibly get it. Because it's got some good oil in it. I doubt mine will come out as beautiful as theirs. Hey, but we're going to try it. And if I find that this dough is just too hard, then I will make the next dough softer by adding some fluid to it. And I'm trying not to add, I'd rather add olive oil to the top of it than flour because I don't want it to get more dried. But that's not working. So what I'm going to do is use the old trusty wax paper. That's what we did when we were kids. I was quite the baker when I was a kid. I started at 10 years old taking 4-H cooking and loved it. And the rest is history. All right. So I'm not going to worry whether these are gorgeous. I'm just going to cut them and then and this is going to bake right on this pastry. The butcher paper, parchment paper is going to do right on, stay right on it. So that looks kind of fun. So we'll see. All right, it says transfer the chips on the paper, leaving them on the paper. And I am supposed to dust them lightly with salt. So I will dust them lightly with salt. And I'm going to, let me just move this so you can see what I'm doing here. So I have this already heated in here. I'm just going to set this paper in there. I always worry when I put paper in hot things. They cook 8 to 10 minutes, so I will set the timer for 8 minutes. There's the first batch. I'm gonna put this second one in. Now what I can do is package these up, put them in the freezer, and take them on our trips with us with a slice of cheese on them. So I got a little brave. I put Italian seasoning on some of them. I put some dried basil on some of them. And it'll be fun just to see how they all come out. If I did have garlic powder, I would probably put more garlic powder on the top because I really like the garlic taste. and I'm not tasting any pieces of garlic in here, like I said, but we'll see. This one has some of the Parmesan cheese on the top. Last batch. I can tell you that the ones that I put the seasoning on are super. So from now on I'll add, just go crazy, add more seasoning inside and add more seasoning outside. And it makes it pretty amazing. It's like a little wheat thin filled with flavor. So good. So I break them all up. I've got 3 of the piles in here, 1 more here. And then you want to store them in an airtight container. It says for 3 days, but I'm going to keep them in the fridge and freeze some of them. Thanks for joining us today, and like and subscribe if you haven't. Thank you.